Lips with me.
Welcome to Read My Lips Radio, a lively hour of unscripted conversations with savvy creatives. Producer and host, akaRadioRed, asks novelists, artists, photographers, designers, comedians, actors, musicians, composers, screenwriters, directors, and technology innovators about their creative passion, inspirational muses, and how they create. Ooh, how those lips can talk. Now, here's akaRadioRed.
Radio Red is in the house. Thank you to the voice who gets me on the air. It's Monday. Where else would I be? I'm fighting the sunshine coming through the Venetian blinds. Those of you who are watching, Holly has graciously said to me, Red, there are lines through your face. Yes, there are. But you know what? I'm moving, I'm grooving, and there we go. I'll try to stay on my microphone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Creativity Show. Used to be called Read My Lips. That's the way I still refer to it. And this is where I love to be on Monday, speaking with people who are creatives. And when I go to the Publicity Summit, where I met these three beautiful, very smart, very passionate and inspiring ladies, I say creativity isn't whether you sing or dance or do pottery or you're a master chef. It's about how we create our lives. It's about how you talk and how you look and how you think and how you relate to people and what you do. That's our creativity. So before I introduce my three wonderful guests, and I'm fighting the sun here, I'm going to give you a couple of things you really need to know, ladies. These are very important, and just get ready. I have a special introduction for each of you. January 26th is today, and Holly, it's easy for me to tell you what day of the year because we're still in January, so it's the 26th day. It's the Gregorian calendar. It used to be the Julian calendar, and Dr. Kabamba, Julian had a problem with October. He couldn't figure out how to keep the first 2 weeks on the calendar, so people in the beginning didn't get their birthdays. And I have to tell you, Virginia, that was a shame because I'm a Libra, but I wasn't alive then. It's the fourth month of Monday. Gregorian came along. I don't know whether it was before he was a pope, and he said, I have a brilliant idea. I think he told his mother, Dr. Kabamba, and she said, you're going to be an early creative. And he said, let's put a leap year in every fourth year and add a day. And all of a sudden, October got their birthdays back. Isn't that exciting? It's the month of, it's the sign of Aquarius. Is anybody here in Aquarian? January 20th through February 19th? Anybody? No, neither am I. We'll let that one go. I want to tell you what some exciting things in music history are today before we get started. In 1965, on this day, Petula Clark's Downtown, I think some of you remember that, was #1 in the U.S., featuring Jimmy Page on guitar. In 1970, on this day, John Lennon wrote, recorded, and mixed Instant Karma, the song, in one day. If that isn't creativity, I don't know what is. On this day, the same day, 1970, Simon and Garfunkel's album, Bridge Over Troubled Water, I Will Not Sing, I'd Ruin the Show, was released. And they also released the title track as a single. On this day in 1973, Elton John's sixth studio album, Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player, had two of his hits. It was released with Crocodile Rock, his first #1 hit in the U.S., and Daniel. I won't go through too many more, but I will tell you that. Let's see. The Phantom of the Opera opened today, on this day in 1988. There we go. Today is Ellen DeGeneres' 68th birthday. It's singer Anita Baker, one of my favorite. Oh my goodness, she's 68 today. Hockey player Wayne Gretzky is 65. Paul Newman, in absentia in memoriam, was born today in 1925, and Eddie Van Halen was born in 1955. So let's get started with, and by the way, shout out everybody on the count of three. Join me in saying hello, LLL. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hello, LLL. Jordan, my engineer for Voice America Media, would you put them down as tied for first place for the best in sync? And we didn't even rehearse this. Ladies, that was brilliant. LLL is lovely, lanky Laura Legs, our most loyal listener. She hasn't been feeling well, but I think she's probably listening by now, and we want to remember her. So here we go. Holly, you're going to be first, then Dr. Kabamba, and then Virginia. I love you all, but I had to have the order, so here we go. Welcome to the Creativity Show, where stories ignite. akaRadioRed on her Scarlett Mic is live streaming bright with dots all over her face. Let me see if I go in the other direction. Here we go. I can't see because my notes are in front of me. So let me move the notes over. Here we go. The fittingness, Holly, you know where that comes from. The fittingness of creativity. I have to give the show a theme every week, so I picked you. The fittingness of creativity sets the tone this year, where challenges meet compassion, instantaneously inspiration rings clear. Holly Kouvo Reverend Dr. J. Kabamba Kiboko, who said I can call her Dr. Kabamba, and Virginia Taft are here today. Three passionate creatives with so much to say. Here for our conversation where ideas are unbound, an inspiring hour where meaning will resound. Ladies, no pressure. Here we go. Holly, here's my gift to you. Born in Tarrytown, New York, the youngest of five, Holly learned early how curiosity can thrive. From Montrose roots to Spain and Dutch exchange skies, her love of travel opened her heart, her soul, and her eyes. At SUNY Potsdam, that State University of New York, psychology led the way with business, dance, and coding, rounding out each day. From software success to a bold new transition, Holly built Fitness in with purpose and mission. Inspired by care, she reshaped her career path, guiding health, strength, and balance beyond quick math. Now, active agers shine through her books and her voice, helping us stay fit, sharp, and independent by choice. Holly, I hope you
Wow.
enjoyed that.
That was awesome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And now, and by the way, all three of you are on the screen now, so we can see all of you. And next is Dr. Kabamba. Born in Shinkolobwe, Congo, where resilience took root, Kabamba learned what it means to contribute. From Likasi's close-knit streets to a home open wide, community and generosity stood side by side. A pastor, a scholar, a speaker with global embrace, Kabamba earned her PhD in Hebrew Bible with grace. Inspired by her mother's wisdom, deep and strong, she became Musanga, one who connects all along. From Congo to America, Hiroshima as well, her journey's stories interweave and retell. Now serving near Cincinnati, her calling rings true, gathering hearts, healing worlds, building bridges anew. Dr. Kabamba, I hope you like that.
I love it. I see the bridge right behind me. Thank you.
There you go. You're very welcome. And Virginia, you're next. Born in Milwaukee, Midwest raised with tales to tell, Virginia learned early how curiosity can compel. From Alabama days to Idaho's wide open land, she once lived in a tent, dreams kept close at hand. With art and rhythm flowing through her family line, a drummer dad, a singer mom, creativity so fine. A born communicator and a peacemaker by role, Virginia's heart and humor shaped her compassionate soul. From vet dreams to therapy, never bored, always daring, Virginia built healing practices grounded deep in caring. Now writing, speaking, empowering lives she'll lift, exploring mind, body, spirit as her lasting gift. Virginia, I hope you enjoyed that.
That was wonderful. Hey, I've got one for you.
Hold on, let me finish the opening. We'll do it go in a second.
Okay.
Thank you. So gather around where the cool vibes and the cool kids sway as we dive deeper into creativity today, aka Radio Red's energy. Woo! Lights the way. We hope to inspire you to live large, love life, and play. I hope you all enjoyed that.
That was
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes, that was great.
Gift to each of you. Virginia, go ahead. You have something for me?
Well, mine is very short, but I thought of you and I said, no rhyme before it's time. Creatives not looking for glory, just telling their story. No room for doom and gloom. Come into this room. A journey to share with folks everywhere. The desire to create and elevate. It's never too late. Thanks, Radio Red.
Thank Virginia. That was lovely. Let me see if I can find a sound effect for that. Hold on one second. Let's see. We've got this. There we go. You hear it? I keep these handy. All right, kids, that's enough. You make Virginia, that's enough already. The kids are ready to applaud whenever I ask them to. See, Holly, the dots are off my face now. The sun has moved. It just happens at the time when I'm starting the show. Thank you, Virginia. That was lovely. Ladies, I may be one of the only hosts who gives a 12-line rhyming bio. I don't call them poems. They're not poetry. They're just rhyming bios. But I have a collaborateur in French named Sylvie, and I give Sylvie your origin stories that you graciously sent to me. Of course, I demanded them in my jot form, but you send them anyway. And I say, help me write a 12-line rhyming bio, and she does. And then I go through, I compare it to what you sent, and I make changes, I make tweaks, tweaks, and I say, we need a little more about this, a little more. Virginia, I changed yours a couple times. Let's do this. I want more of this and more of that. And then we negotiate, Sylvie and I. And the result is what I read for you. Now it's getting dark and I have to put the light on. Hold on. Bingo. There we go. Foot tap. Okay. So what I'd like to do now is in 12 lines, there's no way I could cover everything about each of you. So Holly, I'm going to start with you. I'm officially welcoming you to the Creativity Show, Read My Lips. I'm putting you on speaker view, and I'd like you to take just 2 or 3 minutes and fill in the blanks between the lines that I read for you, and tell us a little more about your origins and who you are. Holly, welcome.
Sure. Well, you did a great job portraying me. I do love to travel. I did a lot of travel growing up as an exchange student to the Netherlands, and then after in college and traveling after that. I started out in high tech and then changed into the fitness industry. And my business, Fitting Fitness In, is 25 years old this year. So I've been in there for a long time. I started working with people, helping them lose hundreds of pounds. And so I have a 2-book series. My first book was for Fitting Fitness In for weight loss and healthy living. And then I moved into helping people over 50 live their best lives by being able to be fit, stay sharp, and stay independent, which is the second book, which just came out. I am a functional aging specialist. I am one of the first certified brain health trainers in the country, a personal trainer, nutritionist. I have a TV show called Get Healthy with Holly, which has been running for 8 years and has over 2 million viewers on cable access television. And I love working with people and motivating people to fit fitness into their daily lives.
That's very exciting. Tell me about your TV show. I want to know a little more, Holly, please.
So Get Healthy with Holly, I talk about fitness, health, and nutrition. So there's usually a cooking component, unless I'm interviewing somebody, and we talk about different exercises. Sometime I've had an orthopedic surgeon on talking about plasma-rich platelet injections. I've had stretch companies come in, show you how to stretch people. It's great. I love it.
That's very, very cool. I'm coming back on screen with you. When did you start the show, did you say? And how can people find it?
8 years. It's well, you can find it on my website, fittingfitnessin.com. There's a tab for Get Healthy with Holly. And so, yeah, I'm starting my 9th year.
Very impressive. Thank you for doing that. I'm sure people appreciate it. I'm going to check that out. Thank you so much. Of course, nobody here is over 50, but we'd have to pretend to go to your, I'm sorry, there's nothing wrong with that. I think I remember those days. Thank you very much. And now I'm putting Dr. Kabamba on speaker view. Welcome. And I'm so happy to have you here, all of you. And you each pitched me at the Publicity Summit, and I said, got to come on my show, and that's why you're here. So that's where I get about 90% of my guests every year. Dr. Kabamba, we'd love to know a little more about you. I'm putting you on speaker view, and officially, welcome.
Thank you. I am happy to be here. I am here to just share about the place. Everyone has a place. And I become creative from the place, creativity from it coming from the place. Every place that I've been in has been a place of creativity, starting from Shinkolobwe, Likasi, Mulungwishi, Texas, Cincinnati. Every place has a story. So I learned about listening. Just listen. When you come to a place, the place is speaking. The place has a story. If you listen, you learn, you will be able to tell the story that is now in you, because you become the place also. And as a Musanga from the Basanga people, Musanga means one who connects. So storytelling is where I find life. And I see in other people the place. I can hear what the other people is saying because I was trained by my mother to listen. So I want to share this about the place. I want to share it with the world.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very, very interesting. I'm reflecting on the novel, the novella I'm writing, and it's about a place where I used to be, used to live, and it's about that experience, but it's supposed to be, you know,
Yes.
fiction, but it comes from somewhere. Holly, your books come from your experience, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and we're going to get to Virginia right now. Virginia Taft, I'm delighted to have you here, and I love the red sweater and the red jacket. You know why. I'm putting you on
Can't
speaker
imagine
view.
why.
I can't imagine either, and thank you for that delightful little ditty you read at the beginning. I appreciate that. I'm very flattered. I'm putting you on speaker view, and would you please tell us a little bit more about yourself? Welcome, Virginia.
Okay. Well, as you mentioned, I started out in the Midwest. We traveled around a lot of different places because my dad was an art director for a yearbook company. But what I found and what I've heard from the other two people here, as well as from you, is we want connection and we want to look at our lives and follow that journey through life. So I had two adopted children that I adopted as older children after I moved to Idaho. I've lived in a variety of states and done a lot of traveling. And as I've gone along, what I really like to look for is the story behind the story. Because a lot of times you see the surface, but you really don't see what's behind there. And as I traveled across country after my mom died, I was taking her memory box across country and I decided to travel by myself. And I stopped places and started talking to people. And the more I shared my story, they shared theirs. And so as I wrote about that, I really didn't plan on writing it, but my friends said, these Facebook posts should be a book. And I had already started a book, but this one came first. And so what it became is the journey series about our journey through life, through aging, through taking care of other people when they're at the end of their life. And it just fascinates me. So my goal is really to empower people and for them to look at their history and look back at what's happened to them and their memories, because those memories are such great teachers. And, there's lots of ancestry.com and that kind of stuff. And those are great, but they don't tell us that quirky stuff that we remember. Or recently there was a thing I read about familect, which was like a dialect within your family where you have crazy words that you guys all share. Nobody knows what they mean except the family. And I think that's one of the things that connects us. And to me, and in my books, I have questions at the end of each chapter to stimulate that, because to me, remembering your own memories is great. Dealing with some of the things that maybe were painful could be changed in your mind. You reflect on those, but also it's a way of connecting with other generations and with our history as a culture.
That's lovely. Thank you very much. Funny, you're talking about words that connect us. On one of my other shows, it's called Technology Revolution, The Future of Now. I do it under another name, I think you know. I just finished my 11th annual Crystal Ball Prediction Special. It's a prediction show rather than a creativity show. And I started out the introduction the past three weeks, Crystal Ball 1, 2, and 3, with words that made word of the year level for different dictionaries and different collections, words.com and the main dictionaries we know. And we're talking about words that have become part of the lexicon. And I've also found lists of things that we don't want to be part of the lexicon, like 6, 7, and demure. People are saying,
Right.
please, no. But it's interesting that words become part of that cultural communication, that the lingo of how Dr. Kabamba, of how we tell our stories, the words we pick. For example, I don't like the word authentic because I think it's been overused, and I'm not sure people say be authentic. Well, who else do you think is here? Who would look like this on live video? It's me. Get over yourself. So I call it real deal, and I put a hyphen in it, real dash deal. Be a real deal, meaning bring your game. That's what I want. But I don't know what else. So I think we all come up with our own lingo, our patois, maybe a French word for it. I'm not sure. I don't remember that. Anyway, thank you, Virginia. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Dr. Kabamba. Your intro stories. And by the way, the reason I ask you for the pre-show prep, the deliverables for this show, the reason I ask for an origin story instead of a bio is when I ask for a bio, people send that cute little 4 or 5 liner that they put into their media pitch. That's what you used possibly at the summit. I don't want that. Virginia, I wanted more. I wanted to know what it was like growing up and what informed you and what shaped and molded you. Same for you, Holly, and same for you, Dr. Kabamba. That's why I stopped asking for bios a couple of years ago and I asked for origin stories. And the funny thing is, I often get a response from people and it says, I have trouble talking about myself. Well, I'm asking you to talk about yourself. I'm asking you to share the journey, share the path, share the story. And I've turned it into Mad Libs. I'll say, okay, just fill in the blank. If they don't, seriously, Holly, I'll do this sometimes if people don't know what to do. I'll say, okay, where were you born and raised? What were your family's roles? What did your parents do? Do you have any early school? What were your favorite subjects? Did you have any jobs? Did you have a hobby? Were you in a band? Did you have any sports? Later education. Did you major in something? Did you get training? Did you get certification? Okay, job path. What inspired you to get your first job? Where have you gone from there? What are your titles? What are your roles? What are you doing now? How did you get there? And your favorite travels, Dr. Kabamba, and your hobbies, your passions, and I help them build their origin story. It's so foreign to some people to be asked for that version rather than the cute little, we all know what the cute little is. So thank you all for that. I appreciate it. Let's move on. I'm getting too philosophical here. Holly, we're going to start with you. We're moving on to the quote part. And I've asked you each for a fictional character quote from a movie or a TV show or a song lyric. And you're going to explain, please, in your own words, 2 or 3 minutes max, what it means to your own creativity. So Holly has sent a classic spoken by Jedi Grandmaster Yoda, puppeteered and voiced by Frank Oz. Of course, the film is Star Wars Episode V, that's 5 in Roman numerals, The Empire Strikes Back, 1980 epic space opera film. I still haven't figured out what a space opera is. It's Yoda's most memorable quote in all of Star Wars, first in the 1980 film. And he is one of the oldest, most stoic, most powerful Jedi masters, an iconic cultural figure. And here, of course, is the line Holly has picked: do or do not. There is no try. I think that's a mantra for life that most people should adopt. Holly, I'm putting you back on speaker view. Would you please tell us what this has to do with your creativity?
Well, I'm a goal-oriented person, and so I set goals. And if you're going to set a goal, you need to achieve it. So either you're going to do what you need to do to achieve it or not. It's not like I'm trying to get it done. Either you're getting it done or you're not getting it done. And I use this with clients too, because when I give them a program and they're like, okay, I'll try. I said, well, no, don't try, just do it. I mean, it's either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. When people say try, I'm just like, well, that means you're giving yourself an out. And I don't want an out. If I'm going to set a goal, I want to achieve that goal. Now, some goals are short-term goals, some are long-term goals. So writing books was a long-term goal, but at some point you got to bring that long-term goal into a short-term goal and make it happen. And so that's what I go by. Either do it or not, but don't say I'll try.
That's true. And not doing something is a decision as well, isn't it, Holly? It's the choice. The light bulb, forget about dimmers. The light switch on the wall, it's either on or it's off. And I learned that in binary math way back in the day. It's a 0 or it's a 1.
Right.
That's it. No fractions, no shades. It's a 0 or it's a 1. 0 is a choice. I'm not going to, or it does not, something. But 1 is also a choice. Thank you very much. Let's go to Dr. Kabamba. Your quote is interesting. It's from a song written and performed by Libro M and his South African choir, originally for Rhythm of the Pride Lands, a 1995 album that was inspired by the film the previous year, 1994, The Lion King. The song is co-written by Mark Mancina, Jay Rifkin. It was also performed twice in a shorter form in the stage musical adaptation of I Saw The Lion King on Broadway, by the way, Dr. Kabamba. What a glorious production.
Yeah.
It was first produced on Broadway in 1957. 1997. I know I didn't see it in 57. An abridged version of the song was used for the opening of the sequel film, The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. And here is a 4-word quote Kabamba has selected. He lives in you. Let's apply this to your own creativity, please, Dr. Kabamba. Go.
Oh my God. He lives in you. He lives in me. There is a story because in me is a place. And that's why I call my book Hamakom in Hebrew, which means the place. He lives in me. Who is the he? The story. The story. When you listen to the place, which is in me, you listen, you learn, you live, because you are a connector as a Musanga. He lives in me. From that place, I am able to journey, to go on this path, listening, learning, and living, because the story lives in me.
I love it. You've convinced me. Where did Virginia go? We lost her picture for some reason. I hope
I'm right
she come. Are
here.
you there? All we're seeing is just a black screen. So come back when you can, okay?
Yeah,
There you are. You're
I can
back.
see you.
Okay, good. Yeah, we
Huh.
just had a screen.
Oh,
Must be
that was weird.
a jaggy connection. No, I'll let you know. I'm glad you're back.
Good.
We're fine now. And I'm going to move to Virginia's quote now. Virginia has sent a quote from Dust in the Wind, a song recorded by progressive rock band Kansas and written by band member Kerry Livgren. It was first released on their 1977 album Point of No, KNOW, Return. It hit number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 in April of 1978. It was their only U.S. top 10 single. The 45 RPM single, I still have some 45 RPMs, I think. Virginia, don't get me wrong for that. Was certified gold for sales of 1 million units by the RIAA and certified 3 times platinum on November 26, 2019. That was 7 years. How many years ago was it? 2019? Oh, yeah, 7 years ago. Yeah, just about 7 years ago. So I don't know anybody who got certified gold for a 45 RPM. I don't think young people even know what that is anymore. Kerry Livgren devised what he thought, an interesting story. He devised the guitar line for Dust in the Wind as a fingering exercise. He was learning finger picking, Dr. Kabamba. He was learning on his guitar and he's playing around. And his wife, Vicky, she spelled it Vicci, like maybe it's Vichy, heard it and she said, "Hey, that melody's really nice. Why don't you write some lyrics?" This was all done at home. And he said, "Oh, I don't think my band members would like it. It's not their style. Kansas doesn't play like this." After they'd rehearsed all the songs for their June 1976 and July recording sessions, he played Dust in the Wind for his bandmates. After a moment of stunned silence, they said, "Kerry, where has this been?" And the guitarist Rich Williams recalled that Livgren played a real rough recording of him playing Dust in the Wind on an old reel-to-reel. He recorded it on reel-to-reel. He just kind of mumbled the lyrics, but even hearing it in that bare form, we said, that's our next single. What an exciting story. Virginia, I love to find my stories for these. Now, here's the quote she has selected. "I close my eyes only for a moment, and the moment's gone. All my dreams passed before my eyes, a curiosity, dust in the wind. All they are is dust in the wind." Virginia, I hope you like the story. Yes?
I love that. You know, it's interesting. My sister's name is Vicky, and we lived in Kansas, which is where I first tuned into the song in around 1978. And my mom used to just say, "Oh, well, I don't like that song because it made her think of dying and losing life." But I looked at it as we're fleeting. So we need to do what we're going to do now. We need to make our mark on the world, and we're all part of the same. You know, dust is not one thing. It's a combination of things. And I really like the thing about only for a moment and the moment's gone. So grab it while you can.
Mm-hmm.
How does this relate to your creativity, to how you write and how you do what you do, Virginia?
Well, like I said, with my journey series, it's looking back at memories and that kind of thing. But also, to me, it's a call to action for myself that I'm at a point in my life where who knows much time anybody has. You know, we could all get run over by something tomorrow, but why focus on that? What is it I really want to do now? Someone said one time, and I really liked it. She said, "It's not about whether you do good or bad things. For most of it, it's a question of what are the best things I could do for me at this point in my life. And what you're drawn to is what you need to do."
Interesting. Okay, then I need to watch a lot of French language detective shows with strong women leads on Walter Presents on yes, on Prime, which I do a lot of, and I'm waiting for the next bunch to drop. Thank you very much. Very interesting. Ladies, thank you so much for the fascinating quotes. I appreciate it. And I love researching them, and I love the way you relate them to your own creativity. Now we're going to go on to your creativity statements. I asked you each for four. I'll read a couple. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to turn this into a real round table. Holly, I have three of yours selected to read. I think we've lost Virginia's picture again.
Ah,
Virginia, where you're coming and going there, lady. Your camera is turned
sorry
off.
about that.
That's
I'm
okay.
coming.
That's okay. You're here. I'll stop reminding you if I'm talking to you and you're not there. I'll say something. So
Thank
Holly,
you.
you're welcome. Holly, I'm picking three of yours. I'm going to read them. They're brief, and then I'm going to ask Dr. Kabamba and Virginia if these resonate with them, if they have anything to say, if they mean something to them, or they say no, I don't do it that way. However you'd like to comment. So here's what Holly said. Number one, she says, I found that I need to go away to write. There were too many distractions at home. For both of my books, I went and stayed in a friend's ski house or cottage in the mountains, to get the bulk of my writing done. Then she says, I am more creative in the morning, and ideas come to me while I am on a walk. That tells a whole story in itself, Holly. So why don't you tell us more, please?
Well, the going away and staying in a cabin is to get it finished because I'll start it. I was writing at like 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, trying to get some done before I start my day, and I was only getting so far, and then I was like, okay, I have to just focus on this. So I would go to one was my friend's lake house, but I went in the middle of the winter. And the other was a mountain house that I went during the fall, I think, fall or winter. And I just literally, from Friday afternoon to Sunday afternoon, I just wrote, did nothing else but write, write, write. And I got a lot done.
How did it feel?
It felt wonderful. It felt awesome.
Yep.
No interruptions. No, I turned my phone off.
No
It was just
temptations.
wonderful.
No intruders. Let's go around
Well,
the
there was a
table.
bear. There was a
Uh,
bear that came up on the porch, but I didn't let him in.
do we forgive him? Barely. I'm
Oh yeah.
sorry. Had to do that.
Oh, how
Dr.
funny.
Dr. Kabamba, anything you could relate to that about needing no distractions or going away or creating in the morning? And then Virginia, I'll get to you. Dr. Kabamba, any
It,
thoughts?
it's really interesting. I don't have a specific time. It's just something within me, the place that was formed by the story that is within me, formed by place, memory, and encounters. Anytime it calls for me to write something,
Mm.
I stop anything, everything. I just start writing. I cannot say morning, evening. I've tried. It doesn't work like that. It's dictated by the story that is within me. When it just right, right, I stand up.
Interesting. I can
Oh,
relate to that. Virginia, thoughts about that?
I have kind of a combination thing. I used to say, oh, I'm better in the morning. And I found that if I have to edit something, I'm better in the morning because I'm sharper. But in the afternoon, it's kind of like I get rolling. So and sometimes I'll wake up at 3 in the morning and go, man, I got to write this down or I can't sleep. So there'll be times where I go through these different phases. But what works for me is I structure my week. So I have one day like Mondays are my day to really focus on these particular kind of things and I do a little bit of, I do writing, but I also do some publicity things or things like this. And then I have a few days a week where I'm working, so I'm not dealing with that. And then toward the end of the week, so it's the kind of thing where I have several different things, and every once in a while I need to plug them in. But the idea of getting away is really appealing to me. I can't do that very often, but I happen to be going down to Arizona in about a month for a couple of weeks and working at a clinic down there, but I'll have lots of open time. And I thought that is the time where I've really got to be going on this next book because I got all the parts and pieces, but I haven't had enough time to make the continuum and put it all together. And I feel like then I'll be focused and have the time and be able to get out in nature too.
Very cool. Very cool. Holly, anything you want to say back to them before I move on?
No, I think I mean I can't always just stop what I'm doing to write if the moment hits me because my day is so structured. But definitely getting out in nature and just absorbing nature. A lot of things happen. Not with earplugs, not like I go for a walk a lot and I don't use earplugs and I just exist with nature and it just pulls it out of you. And your brain can relax a little bit and then things can just focus.
Well put. And all of those sounds and those senses and the smells and the feelings and the air. There's something it's in the environment to me is very inspiring and creative. And it just says to your brain, take it all of the noise, all the distractions.
Exactly.
You can just think now. You can just be in the place, right, Dr. K? There you go.
That's
Just
right.
find the place. There we go. Okay, Dr. Kabamba, you're next. I have picked your creativity statement number 1. I'm going to read this, and this is interesting. We'll see what the ladies have to say if it resonates with them. So you said, creativity is not something I produce alone. It is something I carry. I come from a long line of storytellers, singers, mothers, healers, and wisdom keepers. My mother, who could not read or write, taught me to think in Kisanga, to remember who I am and to trust the voice of the ancestors within me. So when I create, whether I'm writing, preaching, teaching, or connecting people, I'm never creating by myself. I'm drawing from a well that is deep and ancient. Very, very interesting. There's a story there, obviously. I'm putting you back on speaker view. Why don't you fill in some blanks for us, please? Tell us more.
Remember, he lives in me. The story lives in me. The story shaped by places. The story shaped by my language, Kisanga, which means language of connection. The story shaped by who I am, a Musanga, one who connects. So with that, Mama taught me to think in my language. So when I think, I sit down, I am Musanga. Oh my God, I am creative. I see this place where we are, Red Radio. I see it. It inspires me because it's a place. It's a disanga, a place of encounter. That's because I'm thinking in my language and go through series of languages in order to say it in English. So I have all of us in me. He lives in me, the place in me, all of you, every one of you. I am because we are. We are therefore I am. That's from where I speak.
Thank you. Very interesting.
Mhm.
Virginia, any thoughts, any comments?
I think that story comes through me. I think of myself as an instrument rather than being the story. The story comes through me. And I used to have this habit of singing a song. And my mom used to go, well, the words don't go like that. And I'd kind of make them up. I'd know like 2 or 3 phrases from every song and I'd make some up. And I just said to her, no, I'm just playing with it, Mom. And life is a song. And she could really relate to that. So it gives us a lot of power to sing. And I feel like that song of life, that journey of life, that story is the song that plays through me.
That's lovely. Holly, thoughts?
I use stories throughout my book to motivate people to so people can relate to, oh, I could do that. I'm like that person. I can relate to that. I use stories in my classes to give stories about a client who accomplished something and this is how they did it. And so I use stories of why we're doing a certain exercise so that you can lift your luggage up and put it in the overhead bin so you can travel, things like that. So there's always stories motivate people and people can relate to it better and they can see themselves doing it and accomplishing what another person did.
Very well put. Virginia, were you the one who said about channeling, stories channel through you? Did you say that, Virginia?
Yeah, being an instrument where they flow through.
Okay, I'll give you an example. About 10 years ago, I decided I wanted to write a romantic comedy play about something I knew about dating, okay? And about online dating, which I unfortunately knew too much about. And I didn't know what to do. So I went online. Where else would I go? And I said, I need playwriting 101. How do I do it? What font do I use? How do I put a script together? What order do I do it? What elements do I put in it? And I found a downloadable free PDF, and I took it and copied it. And then I just started writing. I had a full-time job, but I start writing at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I wrote till 4 for 3 nights. And the play was done. And you want to know why, ladies? Because the characters told me who they were, what they wanted, what they looked like, what their histories were, and what they wanted from each other. And I, Virginia, was the channel. I was the conduit. I was I was the place, Dr. Kabamba. It was in me. And I put it together. And I liked it so much that I had a television show on Long Island, Holly. I had an access show. And I had friends who were in community theater. And I said to them, how would you, if I make it real easy for you, I'll put the script on a teleprompter. Nobody will see it. We'll do it in a green screen studio. Would you do my play for me? And they said yes. So I learned to cast the people for the play, and I learned to coach, and I learned to direct, and my crew did the production. And my director, who just passed away recently, a good friend of mine, went into Manhattan and took pictures of the front of Penn Station where this whole thing took place, and of the scene of the city with buses and taxis and everything. And I downloaded a picture of a van from the internet, and we used it as a green screen image. And the cast sat on a bench in a studio with a big green curtain behind them. It was in a taxi, and it looked like they actually got into the taxi, which was a van. And we had another picture where the door closed. And I bought a little child's steering wheel, Dr. Kabamba, at a toy store. And we had it mounted on a table for the driver to sit on a chair in an empty studio holding the steering wheel. And damn if it didn't look like they were really in the taxi. And that's where all the action took place. But they told me, Virginia, they told me everything about themselves. I didn't make anything up. They just knew who they were, what they wanted, and how they were going to react with each other. And the driver was part of the story too. So I can relate to that. Thank you for all of that. I am going to Virginia now. I have your your creativity statements. Okay, Virginia says, writing for me is emotion, escape, information, but mostly a message to share with the world. And she adds, I like to write with pencil on lined paper, then dictate it into a document, then edit and often print a hard copy to play with. Oh, we want to know more, Virginia. Tell us. Method. Go ahead. She's a method writer. Talk to me.
Well, that's pretty much it. You know, sometimes if I get an inspiration in the middle of the night, I don't want to come and stare at the computer. I have a hard time being on the computer. It just is too much, man. I don't feel as creative on the computer. There's something about the act of writing. I used to do some writing interpretation because there's lots of ways you can look and evaluate writing. And so I did some study on that. But I found for me, if I'm writing on lines, it helps me because I'm the kind of person who tries to cram too much in a page. And so it helps me kind of control my thoughts, but not overtake them. And if I write on the computer, my niece used to tell me, you fat finger everything. Well, I am just not a great typist. God did not make me a typist. I'll tell you just a real quick story. One time I was going to apply for a summer job. My mom took me to a place, a yearbook company where she was working. And she said, they need a typist. You can get a summer job. So I went in there and the guy said, okay, I'll give you 5 minutes, type this document. And I typed it. And when I came out, I was laughing, and my mom said, "Oh, you got the job?" I said, "No, I had my hands on the wrong, my fingers on the wrong keys."
Hold on. There's a laugh track for that. Here we go. There we go. Okay, thank you, kids. Virginia, that's quite the story. Quite the story. What did Mom say?
She just started laughing too. I just said, and I said to her, Mom, I need at that time we used whiteout. I said, I need a gallon of whiteout per page, and God did not make me a typist.
That's a funny story. Dr. Kabamba, do you write with paper and ink and on lined paper, or are you a digital writer? How do you process your words?
The world has really changed. I used to use a pencil and write, and now the world has changed. I dictate. I just dictate. I say, and I have what Jack Canfield called a vomit copy.
Question, do you walk around when you're dictating? I took a webinar from somebody recently who said she'd tell people the secrets of writing through dictating, and she never
Yes.
got to how she did it. She was just trying to sell her course, of course. So I turned it off after 10 minutes, but she said she puts it in her pocket when she's cooking and doing housework, and she just keeps talking. So are you doing other things, Dr. Kabamba, when you're dictating, or are you sitting still and just
I'm
thinking?
sitting still.
I had a feeling.
Because
Holly,
at that time, the story within me says, right, I want to get out.
okay.
So I do that. I just say it, say it, say it, say it.
It's yelling. Holly, how about you? You ever dictated or what?
Well, in my first book, I had shoulder surgery, and so I couldn't write. And so I bought a software that I could dictate into the computer, and it put a lot down. There was a lot of editing that had to happen. But I do like that idea, Dr. Kabamba, because, I could just do it anywhere. Maybe I'll get a little more done, but I usually write at the computer. It's easier for me.
I do too. I like to be able to when I was telling one or more of you before the show that when I'm editing, I like to go through. I'm in the almost done but really not quite stage after 3 years. I'm still thinking through, and I still have parts of the plot that I'm realizing I need to add back or add in. And I'll look at a phrase, a sentence, a paragraph, a chapter. And by the way, Virginia, I think you said it, my chapters are almost one page on the Word document, and then there's a little subscript at the bottom in italics in a different color. I hope Kindle will accept it. It's like a little comment on what happened on that page. Each page has a chapter head. That's just the way I think. But my point was that I forgot my point totally. We were talking about writing. I'll think of it later. Okay, I'm going to move on. What was I saying? I'm sorry.
Dictating is where we were talking
Dictating.
about.
Yeah, okay. The reason I like to do it on the computer is that I'll say that verb just isn't doing it for me. And so I'll go into the thesaurus on Microsoft Word, and I'll say, put this word in, and I'll just look for the verb, the noun, the adverb, all the different formats and the shades of meaning. And sometimes that's not enough. So I'll go online, and I've learned if I have a sense that maybe there was a way that sentence will work better with a certain letter, I don't know where I come up with this. I'll write something just on Google. I'll say, synonyms for running that start with an N. I'll just give it a letter and it comes back, or I'll say positive verbs with a W, and it'll give me lists. People have created, Holly, lists of these things online. All you have to do is say, oh yeah, I use it all the time. I'm part of a poetry group on Wednesdays with Writer's Digest. And sometimes there's just a word that's escaping me, and I never use AI for my poetry, but there's a word that's escaping me. I'm looking for something a little different. And I'll say negative words, negative nouns with an S. And it'll give me, people have created lists. You can get them, they're PDF, and you click on them and they blow up. And there's like 150 words that are negative impressions, negative implication words with an S or with a W or with a V. And so I've learned to do very rudimentary lookups like that. So that's why I like to write online, because I have the tools. The tools help me find, sometimes I just need that shade of meaning. I need that adverb just pops up, and I'll say, that's what I really wanted to say. That puts energy into that sentence. That's where the character really wanted to go. So that's why I don't use pencil or pen, but I have some things to share with you. Thank you all for the creativity statements. I love the round table and how we all relate to that. And by the way, sometimes I just think I would rather write than sleep, Dr. Kabamba, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm in here writing for a couple hours. And if I don't have much to do the next day, I'll sleep late. Okay, I live alone, so nobody's going to complain. Ladies, I want to read you a couple of interesting things here. I have a couple of creativity quotes I've collected, and I think you will all relate to these. We have just about 4 minutes left. Lucy Maud Montgomery, who wrote Anne of Green Gables, chapter 19. This was from her book in 1908. The title of the chapter is A Concert, a Catastrophe, and a Confession. There's a book for you, Dr. Kabamba. A Concert, a Catastrophe, and a Confession. And the quote I found was, something just flashes into your mind, so exciting, and you must out with it. If you stop to think it over, you will spoil it all. Interesting. There's that flash of imagination and creativity. I see Virginia's nodding too. Here's one from the Rolling Stones. You can't always get what you want, but if you try, sometimes you'll get what you need. Hmm. Holly, that's that on and off switch. That's
Yep.
that do not try, right? Here's one from Rapunzel, voiced by Mandy Moore in Tangled, which was a 3D computer animated musical adventure fantasy comedy film. How did they put all those genres in one line from 2010? And she said, venture outside your comfort zone. The rewards are worth it. Dr. Kabamba likes that one. And then, of course, Glinda the Good Witch of the North said in 1939 in Wizard of Oz, the original, played by Billy Burke, she said, you had the power all along, my dear. Didn't we all? Didn't we all? And I have a little quote here from David Byrne, who was the front man for the Talking Heads, the band from way back when. He was interviewed in a podcast called How Ideas Happen. And he said, sometimes I have just the title of a song that comes to me and I write it down and I go to myself, expand on that. I think there's something there. And I also have in my computer a whole lot of musical ideas that maybe just a melody, a nonsense word melody, awaiting words. But I need something to start with. It's hard to start from nothing. I accumulate these very little beginnings. That's what the title of this quote was. And when I come back, I say, I have something to build on, something to ponder, a way to fix a problem. There we go. I have a limerick I wrote. I'm sorry, it's not a limerick. It's a acrostic I wrote. I'm looking at too many notes here from July 24 for my poetry group, and I want to read it to all of you, and I dedicate this to my creatives every week. So here we go. And the word from the prompt that we got from the moderator that day, Wednesday, July 24, 2024, was night shift. NIGHTSHIFT. Are you ready? So I will nod when I get to that letter in the acrostic. You ready? Here we go. Never quite really at rest. It's the life of a creative, going, gripping, gyrating, growling, groaning, growing, highs and lows flowing on a mental Mobius strip. The days are the nights, are the days again, shifting off and on, into and out of gear, hoping for unique brilliance even once. It's a calling, command, curse, roller coaster, finding eureka, euphoria amid frustration and fears. Thus is the life of the creative. I dedicate that to all of you. I hope you enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
And
you
we're
so
just about
much.
out of time, and we're going to do the closing and stick around. We'll talk afterwards. So, and I have one more acrostic. This was write a blank like blank acrostic, and I use those letters. Believe in love always. Never kiss a leprechaun in a kayak. Every boat's like a nervous kangaroo. Okay, that was a quickie. In 2014, I closed the show. We have 1 minute left. I closed the show with the top 10 tips for women. And number one, it still resonates, was aspire to be Barbie. The biatch has everything. There you go. Hope I didn't offend anybody, but you get it. And the other one is if the shoe fits, buy one in every color. I've tried that.
Yes.
And don't get your knickers in a knot. It makes you walk funny. And when life gives you lemon, add vodka and make lemonade. Okay, here's the final closing. Life is short. Break the rules. I think we all do. Forgive quickly. Dr. Kabamba, I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. I haven't learned that one yet. Kiss slowly. I know that works. Love truly. And everybody join me in a quick laugh. Laugh uncontrollably. 1, 2, 3. Don't hurt yourself. And never regret anything that made you smile. Final words. Work like you don't need the money. Work with joy. Dance like nobody's watching. When I was teaching disco in high heels on a Formica tabletop in a high school cafeteria and they wouldn't give me a stage, everybody watched. I never fell. Sing like nobody's listening. I tried not to sing today. Love like you've never been hurt. We all have. Let your heart regrow, regroup, and come back and learn to love again. Money talks, chocolate sings, and last but not least, I stole this line from somebody years ago. Thank you for turning me on. And instead of the regular outro music, I'm going to play the music for my brand new show, which is called Say What Good News. I do it every weekday morning, and I'll send you all the link to watch. Here we go. Join me in dancing, everybody.
Good news.
Oh, look at them dance.
Good news.
Thank you to the Suno Orchestra for the song.
Morning coffee in my cup. Scrolling.
I had to make my own mug.
Yeah, I've had enough. Same old drama.
Same old drama.
feed.
Same old
Flip
feed.
the dial.
Flip the dial.
That's what I need.
That's what we need.
Turn it up, let the
Let the bad vibes fade. Bright headlines. Hit play. Say what? Good news. Let's lift that mood, ladies. Good people doing what they do. You're all doing good stuff. Keep doing it. Smile. Say what? There we go. Ladies, thank you. Let's wait.